Simon & Schuster Audio presents The Mysterious Edge of the Heroic World by E.L. Konigsburg. Read by Edward Herrmann.
Chapter 1. In the late afternoon on the second Friday in September, Amedeo Kaplan stepped down from the school bus into a cloud of winged insects. He waved his hand in front of his face, only to find that the flies silently landed on the back of his hand and stayed there. They didn't budge, and they didn't bite. They were as lazy as the afternoon. Amedeo looked closely. They were not lazy. They were preoccupied. They were coupling, mating on the wing, and when they landed they stayed connected, end to end. They were shameless. He waved his hands and shook his arms, but nothing could interrupt them. He stopped, unhooked his backpack, and laid it on the sidewalk. Fascinated by their silence and persistence, he knelt down to watch them. Close examination revealed an elongated body covered with black wings. End to end, they were no longer than half an inch. The heads were red, the size of a pin. There was a longer one and a shorter one, and from what he remembered of nature studies, their size determined their sex, or vice versa. The flies covered his arms like body hair. He started scraping them off, and was startled to hear a voice behind him say, "Love bugs." He turned around and recognized William Wilcox. William Wilcox. For the first time in his life, Amedeo was dealing with being the new kid in school, the new kid in town, and finding out that neither made him special. Quite the opposite. Being new was generic at Lancaster Middle School. The school itself didn't start until 6th grade, so every single one of his fellow 6th graders was a new kid in school, and being new was also common, because St. Malo was home to a lot of Navy families. So for some of the kids at Lancaster Middle School, this was the third time they were the new kid in town. The Navy seemed to move families to any town that had water nearby, a river, a lake, a pond, or even high humidity. So coming from a famous port city like New York added nothing to his interest quotient. Amedeo was beginning to think he had been conscripted into AA, Aloners Anonymous. No one at Lancaster Middle School knew or cared that he...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?